Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Government Senator Hermangill Francis says the show of defiance by opposition and independent senators on Thursday changes nothing.
A frustrated Senator Hermangill Francis was caught walking away after Thursday's upper house sitting of the House of Assembly was adjourned to a later date. The agenda for the day was to discuss and ultimately pass the new COVID-19 Prevention and Control Bill. This was at least the plan for the day after it was passed in the lower house on Tuesday by government ministers. The reason behind the adjournment was the reported sick-out by opposition and independent senators who have expressed dissatisfaction with the bill, as well as anger over the manner in which the bill was announced to the masses in the first place. Although the government senators came prepared, they were left with no choice but to walk away without resolve. For this, Francis expressed annoyance.
I mean, there it is again, cheap politics, that we are putting our lives of our people in an epidemic of COVID-19, people are putting our citizens' lives in danger, and that is what we have to find. At the end of the day, that is what it is.
When asked if the action taken by the other senators will lead to a review of the bill, Francis indicated that they acted in vain.
We're not going to reconsider any bill. They played their cards, we will play our cards.
A date for the next sitting is yet to be released. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Angelina Ferrer-Polius and Lisa Jawair would have been sworn in as senators on Thursday, one on the government side, the other on the opposition side. There has been a clarion call for more female involvement in politics over the years. Following the adjournment of the upper house sitting, Senator Fortuna Belrose expressed disappointment that the addition of the two women did not come to pass. On the other hand, activist Catherine Seeley says while more women are needed in politics, the current crop of St. Lucian women in politics is doing no justice to the plight of women. Genevieve Gonzague has more.
Only 2 of St. Lucia's 17 MPs are women and 3 of the 9 senators are women. On Thursday, had the proceedings of the upper house taken place as was customary, 2 new senators, Ferrer-Polius and Lisa Jawair, would have been sworn in. The sitting of the upper house was adjourned without any further notice. Senator Fortuna Belrose expressed disappointment, saying that she was looking forward to the women joining a dynamic team of women who are paving the way for women in St. Lucia.
It's unfortunate that we had I think 2 women to be sworn in today, adding to the crew of dynamic women in St. Lucian politics, and we didn't get to see that happen. But I'm sure it will happen at some point.
Women's advocate and president of Raise Your Voice St. Lucia, Catherine Seeley, had a very different view on things. She says she has not seen any evidence that the current cohort of women in the government are working towards empowering or changing the plight of women in St. Lucia.
It's a standard thing around the world that everybody wants more women involved in politics. And in St. Lucia, we should also aspire for more women to be in politics. But certainly not the 4 that we have currently. They have not spoken on women issues. The Department of Gender Relations has failed to provide domestic violence and gender-based violence statistics for the last 4 years under a female parliamentarian who is responsible. The government of St. Lucia, who has a foreign affairs minister, has failed to advance gender equality at any forum under a female minister of foreign affairs. A lot of women in St. Lucia are involved in culture. What has the Minister of Culture, who is a female, done? How has she mobilized? How has she provided resources? How has she provided any assistance? How has women grown under any of them? So while we may want to talk about women in politics in St. Lucia, and it's a desirable thing for us to have more women in politics, we also have to speak about the quality and type of women that we want in politics, certainly not what we have today.
The likes of Emma Hippolyte, Alvina Reynolds, Janine Compton, Dr. Gail Rigobert, Mary Isaac, Sarah Flood Bowbray, and Fortuna Belrose are all St. Lucian women who have stepped into the world of elective politics. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
Local advocate Catherine Seeley spoke to our cameras following an altercation with a security guard. Seeley, who claimed that the guard attempted to deter her from accessing the Parliament building, says it is a dark day when a St. Lucian national cannot access facilities that are the sole property of the people of St. Lucia.
Individuals continue to express concern with the actions of security personnel at the Parliament. On several occasions, people have reported being denied entry to the grounds of the Parliament or entry to the building. On October 1st, local advocate Catherine Seelys went head-to-head with a security guard who, by her account, attempted to impede her access to the House of Assembly. Seelys believes that the guard's demand was absurd, as to her knowledge, the Parliament is a public facility and belongs to the people of St. Lucia.
No one can stop you from walking across the grounds of the House of Parliament. The House of Parliament does not belong to anybody. It belongs to the people of St. Lucia. There is a reason why there are speakers outside. I don't know if they removed it lately, that you can come to this place and hear if you cannot get access to inside. So when you're walking across and people tell you cannot come, then there's a good reason to ignore them and let them arrest you and send you directly to Bodily. Then we test how this justice system works, because this is a lot of nonsense. You're walking across the grounds of the House of Parliament and police officer asking you, can I help you? What can I do? I am walking across. Why are you asking me if I can help you? If I wanted help, I would have come to you.
Seelys believes that the people of St. Lucia are letting politics guide their priorities. She implores members of the public to become familiar with the rights due to themselves and their fellow nationals.
St. Lucians need to know their rights. St. Lucians refuse to learn their rights. All St. Lucians know how to support partisan political things and give you maple when you don't support. Let them learn the laws of St. Lucia.
The advocate believes that authorities should be clear with the rules guiding access to the House of Assembly to ensure that guards act only within their jurisdiction. Jacko Widding, Hot 7 News.
Stay with us. There's more news coming up after the break.